Morning, everyone. Saturday, we're January 12th. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm meeting some friends in a couple hours. San Vital Park, we're going to go for a long run, 25 to 30, somewhere around there. It's going to be an out and back from San Vital Park all the way to the Forks and back. And we're going to take the rapid transit corridor just in case. We had a bit of snow, and with the blowing, the winds and all that stuff, we're expecting snow drifts a bunch of places on sidewalks and all that. So we're hoping the rapid transit corridor, it's a bike path and, walking path that I've been on before and I've shot on there before. Hopefully it's all nice and clear, so should get us out there and back. Super cold this morning, minus 28, feels like minus 35. Winds are not that bad. I think just 7 gusting to 11, so shouldn't be too bad. And then it's going to increase a little bit, might gust to 15, 17 later on, but hopefully by that time we're on our way back, so we'll have a tailwind coming back. So yeah, I'm meeting the usual group of crazies, so should be fun. But I like to get up a couple hours earlier, enjoy a little cup of coffee, have a nice leisurely breakfast. Right now I've got a heating pad on my lower back, and got a little, as you saw earlier, little fire going. My fires, although I wish it was with wood, it's just a flick of a switch, so I'll take whatever I can, especially on these cold winter days. So gonna get a little reading done here, and then have some breakfast and finish getting ready. So see you guys out there. Debating the layers, so I'm going with just this sweater, craft. I'm gonna put this one, it's got a little fleece liner inside. It's breathable, both of them. And then just gonna wear my winter running jacket, and we'll go with that. I'm gonna bring an extra sweater, keep in the van, but I think I'll be able to warm up fairly quickly. That I'll just need to unzip and make sure that I can shed some heat, not sweat too much once we start running. So yeah, and then the usual stuff, mask on the face, and balaclava, and gloves with mitts on top. So and I've got my vest with a few vests with I'm just using one 500 ml bladder, a couple gels, and a Cliff Bar. So that's it.
All right. Rapid transit corridor.
Yeah, I was thinking a week before, but then the bridge is not open. Can I give you the April 2nd one or something?
There we go. I thought I lost my gloves. Sidewalk conditions are pretty bad. Lots of snow. They haven't plowed anything yet. So, yeah, we're trudging along. We're about 22K in right now. Getting closer and closer to San Vital Park again. Whew. It's nice and cold. All right. A little less than 2K, about a K and a half left for 30. Whew. The conditions were pretty brutal on the sidewalks. It sucked. A lot of snow. Hard on the legs. I'm in San Vital Park now, just doing a few loops at the end to finish off. So, whew. hand is frozen. So see you guys later on the next run. Cheers.
I thought I'd jump in here for a couple minutes just to clarify, explain a few things. When I make these videos, as you could see, it was pretty extreme temperatures, and I'm not sure where you're from. If you're one of my running buddies here in Winnipeg, you know what it's like. But if you're not from here, or you're not used to running in extreme cold temperatures, you probably think we're pretty crazy to do that. But you know, we take it pretty seriously. Every time I put in a video, you see me getting dressed, you see what what the layers that I put on, and I explain what I'm wearing and all that stuff, and it's always really good. Now on this run, I knew it was going to be a long run. I knew it was going to be tough with the conditions and the amount of snow. So I knew it was going to generate enough heat to stay warm. And the layers that I had chosen, you saw my green sweater, the long sleeve sweater next to the skin, merino. That was great. And then the black one on top, and I wore the running room winter jacket on top of that. So as far as number of layers, 3 layers in that temperature, for me personally, it was fine. And I had double layered pants, you know, skin tight spandex, and then the mid-weight, I would say, not the super heavy cold running pants, but warm enough. So the 2 layers, merino socks, and my Gore-Tex shoes. You know, you saw the toques and the balaclava and the buffs and all that stuff. Some small gloves inside my big running room mitts. Perfect. One thing that I missed, and it dawned on me after about 5K, is I tucked the yellowish green sweater in my pants. The black one that I put on top, I let it loose, and then my jacket. And as we had reached the rapid transit corridor, where you saw me, you know, filming my buddies behind me, we had just reached that. So we'd been running for 5K at least, through snow, trudging through snow and all that. I started feeling around my belly button, just underneath the belly button. Started feeling tingling, like almost burning sensation on the skin of my stomach, just below the belly button though, and it's getting a little numb. And I was thinking, wow, could that be like the cold air that I'm feeling there? And so I would take my mitt off, and with my glove I would just put it against my stomach and just rub and try to keep it warm. And you know, it took me a while. Like, I ran all the way to the forks, so essentially halfway through the route. You know, at the forks we were around 12K or something like that, so not quite halfway, but halfway from the out and back type thing. And I went into the forks building to go to the washroom, and I looked, and my stomach was red, and it was tingling, numb, almost to the touch. So I was definitely getting initial frostbite on that skin, because I forgot to tuck in the second sweater. And that's something that's important, is not let, you know, they say aerate and have multi-layers and stuff like that, but when the wind is that cold, the temperature is that cold, if I let a way for the wind to come in between layers, it would essentially, all I had on my stomach at that point was my yellow/green sweater, and I think that's what gave me that initial frostbite. Now, by this time that I'm filming this, we're Sunday afternoon. This was yesterday morning that I ran, and when I touched the skin, it's still burning sensation, tingly, but there's no, like, it was red that morning. Now there's no visual sign that I got frostbite, you know, the glossy white and all that stuff, or red, or burnt, or you know, blistery type stuff. So it wasn't deep frostbite, but it was frostbite nonetheless, I'm pretty sure, and a little bit inside, because it feels like my abs are sore, but not my abs, just that one little band under the belly button where, I have extra skin anyways, and the little bit of fat around the waist, well, that's where it froze. So lesson learned for me. I'm not sure what's going to happen on the next runs, but I have to make sure that all jacket or all sweater layers are tucked in properly, that I don't let air come in underneath that way and freeze it. And hopefully this will eventually heal itself or resolve itself, and I'm not going to have sequels every time I run outside. I'm prone to more frostbite, because that's essentially what frostbite does, is once you've had frostbite somewhere on your exposed skin, it's almost instantaneous as soon as you go back out with that same exposed skin. So that's a lesson for me, and hopefully you don't have to live through that. We live here, we've lived here a long time, we all know about the cold, but sometimes you don't realize, because you think you're staying warm, but a part of you is freezing. So it's pretty important to keep an eye on that. So that's what I wanted to say, is make sure you dress properly, but with enough layers, but wear the clothes properly as well. Make sure that you don't take that for granted, because you might end up paying, like we all take our phones and films and stuff like that, just removing the gloves, the exposed hand for not too long. And I mentioned it as I was filming there, my hand was freezing. Now I didn't leave it outside long enough, but when I put my glove back on and I put it back in my mitt, it was enough that my hand was frozen and I had a hard time re-warming it up. My thumbs were frozen, and those are alone in a mitt, so I had to bring them inside to keep them warm. So if you're from a Nordic environment like I am, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you will find out. If not, then, if you ever decide to go running in the deep cold like we do, then just make sure you dress properly. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. Cheers.